Tonight on Size Eyes on the Skies.
So taking a look at current conditions here in Ames, we are sitting in those lower 40s, which is very above average this year. We are feeling like 35, but those dew points are very dry there at 16 degrees. Those winds coming out of the west at 14 miles per hour. Taking a current look at temperatures right now, most of us are sitting in those mid to upper 30s, but some of us here are sitting in those lower to even mid 40s. Des Moines there at 45, Council Bluffs as well. And again, we should see Davenport there at 42 and Dubuque there at 40.
Plus, Kelly has your national forecast. All that and more as this Monday, January 27th edition of Size Eyes on the Skies starts now.
Broadcasting live from the studios at Iowa State University, the Iowa State Meteorology Department brings you the latest weather from across the country and out your front door. This is Size Eyes on the Skies.
Good evening. I'm your host, Braden Tate, and we will begin with tonight's weather story. On this day in 1967, Chicago experienced its worst snowstorm on record. The snow began at 5:02 a.m. on Thursday, January 26th, and by 10:10 a.m. the next day, a record 23 inches of snowfall from a storm blanketed the city. High winds caused considerable blowing with drifts of 4 to 6 feet widespread throughout the area. By noon, about 8 inches of snow was already on the ground, and O'Hare Airport was shut down. Some schools and businesses released students and employees early, but the commute home was still treacherous. By Friday morning, Chicago was at a standstill. 20,000 cars and 1,100 CTA buses were stranded. Helicopters delivered medical supplies to the hospitals, as well as food and blankets to stranded motorists. At least a dozen babies were born at home, though some expectant mothers were taken to hospitals by sled, bulldozer, and even snowplows. And now, to discuss more with what's happening around the country, here's Kelly with your national forecast.
Looking ahead at this week, California is definitely receiving that much needed rain after those wildfires have been raging there for almost a month. It also has been abnormally warm in the Midwest, which is definitely much needed for the folks who live here, as we have been in that tundra temperature for quite a while. Also, the rest of the country is supposed to be experiencing above average rainfall for the foreseeable future, so that's definitely something to watch out for.
Welcome back. Now let's go to our national forecast with Kelly. Kelly, I've been told it's supposed to warm up this week. Is that true?
Yeah, that's definitely something we're looking forward to here in the Midwest. Looking ahead, we're starting off in the northeast region of the country. Much of the country is stuck in those 30-degree temperatures currently. New York City, we're looking at 38. Up in Caribou, Maine, we're seeing 28. And down in Norfolk, Virginia, we are seeing 49. Also in Ohio, it's also in those 30s, so that seems to be a common trend throughout the country right now. As we shift downward, San Antonio, Texas, we're seeing 51. Dallas, 47. Definitely, I'm sure some of you down there are freezing. Memphis, Tennessee, 40. New Orleans, Louisiana, we're seeing 56. I was there a week and a half ago. Definitely would have loved to see those temperatures. Atlanta, 48. And down in Miami, you guys are lucky with those 60s and almost into the 70s. Shifting focus to the central area of the country, we got 32 in Denver, 39 in Kansas City, 43 in Santa Fe, 33 in Boise. Definitely sticking with that 30 temperatures, definitely keeping it cool throughout the country. As we look ahead, tomorrow morning, the temperatures are still supposed to be rather cool. Up in Caribou, we're seeing it down to 11, 39 in New York, 49 in Norfolk. Down in Miami, we're seeing it up into 72. As we look further ahead, Wednesday afternoon, we see 48 in Kansas City, 36 in Minneapolis, 45 in Cincinnati. This is rather above normal, as we would think for this time of year. 61 down in Memphis, that's also rather rare. 75 in Miami. As we look at satellite right now, there's not much going on. We got some spotty showers down in the southeast region of the country. There also appears to be some snow in that peninsula of Canada hitting Toronto. Chicago, northern Illinois, you're seeing those spotty showers. There's also some spotty showers down in Texas and Arizona and California. Definitely much needed as it is rather dry there. Zooming in on these snow bands that we see in Canada, this appears to be part of a long system. Definitely cooler in Michigan, and Chicago's getting the back end of this system with rain. Looking ahead into the futurecast, Tuesday, 1:30 a.m., we're still seeing that snow band that has shifted eastward into the northeast region of the country. So we got snow down in the New England region into New York, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. We're still seeing these spotty showers and clouds down in Florida and Georgia. Texas, you're seeing clouds in basically the entire state except for the Panhandle. Louisiana, you're also seeing clouds in the entirety of the state. Arizona, we're also seeing some spotty showers down in the southern area by Tucson. As we shift our focus further ahead into Tuesday and into Wednesday, we're seeing almost the entire state of Texas having storms. That's pretty crazy. Also, the southern region is definitely seeing more of those clouds, whereas the central region, even into the northwest, Pacific Northwest, you're seeing more clear conditions and dry. The Dakotas and Minnesota, you are seeing some more clouds, and then in the northeast, you're still seeing some snow. Okay. In Texas, it appears that there's some system going through. So Texas, you could even be seeing some severe storms down in the DFW area. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, you're all at risk of seeing storms, which is definitely much needed after a rather dry winter for most of us. The Pacific, that's not the Pacific Northwest. The Mid-Atlantic region, New England, you are still seeing those snow showers up in upstate New York. Looking at the week ahead in New York City, the week has been starting off rather nice, sunny and cloudy for the start of the week. Also staying in those temperatures, the 40s, 50s, back down into the high 30s. Friday, you could be seeing some showers, which are probably much needed. The weekend looking to start off nice with clouds and sun. Sunday, you're going to probably see some snow. The temperature of 42 is interesting, though. That could possibly mean some mixed precip. And then Monday, to start off the week, we're looking to be sunny, cloudy, and 50s.
Thank you, Kelly. Now it's time for our trivia question for the evening. What is the record amount of snowfall recorded in Ames, Iowa in a single day? A, 20 inches, B, 24 inches, C, 28 inches, or D, 32 inches? We'll have that answer for you at the end of the show. Plus, we'll have your Iowa weather after the break.
It only takes a careless moment to turn this into this. Don't let forest fires be your fault. Make sure your fire is dead out.
Remember, only you can prevent forest fires.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at your Iowa weather with Adriane. Adriane, is it true that it's going to warm up here in Iowa too?
With some very much needed relief from that cold, we are absolutely supposed to warm up here in the upcoming week. Taking a look here at our current conditions in Ames. Again, we are sitting here at 42 degrees, fairly dry out there with a dew point of 16. Those winds coming out of the west at 14. Taking a look at our current temperatures right now, most of us are sitting in those mid to upper 30s, but look at those 40s there in Ames, Des Moines, and Council Bluffs as well. Again, this is above average for this time of year. Now, we're also going to be taking a look at these dew points because they are fairly dry at the moment. Really, though, we did set a record for relative humidity, especially in Iowa Falls today, with a relative humidity of 10%, which did set a state record, but most of the state, again, being in those teens for dew points as well. Taking a look at our forecast lows for tonight, most of us, again, will be in those lower 20s. Carroll there at 22, Sioux City at 21, and Council Bluffs at 23. Now, taking a look at our future temperatures, by Tuesday afternoon, we will be in those 40s. Again, very above average for this time of year. One thing I'm surprised about are these 49 temperatures here in Council Bluffs and Sioux City as well. But once we get to Wednesday morning, again, we will fall into those upper 20s. Some of us in those 30s, Ames and Des Moines as well. But once we get to Wednesday afternoon, we will be in those 30s. But look at this, again, Council Bluffs and Sioux City being in those 40s. Again, above average, as I have stated a couple of times before. Now, these wind speeds may look pretty calm right now, but we are supposed to be expecting a very large increase of wind speed by Tuesday afternoon, 20 there in Mason City and Sioux City as well. But once we get, again, into Wednesday afternoon, morning as well, we will be in those teens for the wind as well. Sioux City there at 7, feeling pretty calm there. Again, by Wednesday morning at 6:30, again, we will be in those teens to lower single digits. Looking at a 12-hour forecast for tomorrow, by 8, we will be in those lower 20s, but once we get into 2 to 4 p.m. here, we will reach those 50s, which, looking at our normal high, is 30 degrees. So we are going to be very much above average, but once we get into the nighttime hours, we will fall back into those 40s. And then looking at the week ahead in Ames, Iowa, we will be in those 50s there on Tuesday, but we will fall back into those 40s by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Mix in there with 50s and 40s, but once we get into the weekend, we will see a drop there. There's 50 on Sunday, but once we get into Monday, we will drop into those 30s, once again, giving us that sadness of cold that we do not want anymore.
Thank you, Adriane, for that forecast. Now, let's review the trivia question for the evening. What is the record amount of snowfall recorded in Ames, Iowa? Is it A, 20 inches, B, 24 inches, C, 28 inches, or D, 32 inches? Adriane, what do you think?
I have no idea. As an Iowan, I want to aim for higher. I'm going to go with 32, just because I've survived many winter storms here. I feel like I get a say on that.
Kelly, you?
I'm going to lowball it. I'm going to go with A. I feel like 20 inches sounds right.
Well, you're from Iowa, and I don't know much about the snow here, so I'm going to guess 32 inches as well. And the answer is B, 24 inches. The record amount of snow ever recorded in Ames, Iowa was 24 inches on January 1st, 1942. This was part of the New Year's Day blizzard.
Wow, I was expecting it to be that low, honestly.
Great way to kick off 1942.
Good start to the year.
Yeah, honestly. That's a lot more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Anyway, that concludes tonight's show. Please be sure to follow us on X/Twitter, and you can find all of our shows on YouTube under our Size Eyes channel. Thank you for joining us, and have a wonderful night.
I fumbled.